I thought for today's video we would go ahead and test out this MS70 cleaner in a video so that you guys can see how it performs. Now, I will have a link to this product down below in the video description if you wish to purchase some using one of my links, or if you ever need anything, all you got to do is click my Amazon link down below, and of course, it doesn't cost you anything, but it gives me a small bit of money to help support the channel. I have 3 coins here, a pretty slick 43, a semi-Nic-A-Date 1937S, really tarnished, and a pretty good condition 1953. So I've chosen these 3 because one's pretty slick, it's been heavily circulated, it's not the DDO or anything like that, but I do want to show what happens when you remove some of the tarnish on a slick coin, how it looks like it's been cleaned, and it may have been cleaned even beforehand before it got the tarnishing once again. But I want to show you what it looks like on a slick coin, one that's kind of a semi-Nic-A-Date that has decent details, see if we can make it look better, and then a coin that has what I see under the loop, pretty good detail as well, and might end up looking the best after it's been cleaned. That being said, in all fairness, I do want to point out that this product does claim it's safe to use on all these different metals, and that really it's made for mint state coins that might have some odd discoloration that you want to make sure that you freshen them up. It's also good on proof coins, but these aren't either of those. They're pretty beat up, pretty banged up, pretty tarnished up, so I'm curious to see how this product works. We'll also be testing it on some Kennedy half dollars that I have. I've been saving a roll of them, and they are definitely worse for wear. I'll pull some out here real quick for you to take a look at. Like we've got one right here. It's actually not that bad, but a lot of discoloration. That's not toning, that's just some gunk that ended up catching dirt, debris, and you name it. So we'll try it on things like that. Coins with tape marks on them, coins that have some toning but also discoloration, and we'll see how it works. Let's kick it off first though with these quarters and see how it does. Now, the MS70 cleaner does expect you to apply it with the Q-tip, and on mint state coins, you definitely don't want to go scratching across it and applying it in that manner. Now, I will be doing that on these coins because they're not mint state. But how you're supposed to apply it on mint state coins is just to roll it back and forth across it. But for these, I will be applying it with the Q-tip end pretty liberally and not concerned about possibly even putting any scratches on it because these aren't going to be sent in for grading. I just want them to look better than they look right now. We'll kick it off first with the ugly one that's worn slick, the 1943. All right, so we're just gonna apply it on here like this. And like I said, I'm not concerned about rolling the Q-tip. I'm just going to actually use the Q-tip as a cleaner. Now, I'm not applying a lot of force. I'm just pretty much running it over, and you can see how much it's already picking up off of this coin. So we're definitely removing a lot of the gunk that's on the surface of the coin. Now, I'm going to use a pretty liberal amount, and technically you should use gloves while handling any chemicals. I'm not doing so for this video because I'm going to be careful about handling the coin and keeping anything on my fingers without washing before I touch anything else. All right, so we got the one side done. We'll flip it over. We're going to use the same dirty side. I don't mind doing that until I use up almost all of this edge of the Q-tip. And we'll see how it comes out. So the final step was to run it under some warm water and then pat dry it, which I did. As you can see, when you take and use MS70 cleaner on a worn slick one, I don't really know if it makes it look better. And even though it does restore some of the luster, I guess, that's on it, one would say that this coin looks cleaned. So, wanted to show it on this one first, just to give you an idea of one that you might buy in a junk silver bin and what MS70 would do for you. Now that we've done that, let's grab the semi-Nic-A-Date 1937S. The toning is nice, but definitely detracts from the value because it's more grime than toning. Let's go ahead and get this one done and see how it comes out. Now for this one, I'm going to let the cleaner sit on the surface for a little bit. Some of this grime is pretty deep in there, and I want it to do its thing. We got that side blackened by applying that first coat. Now that it's sat for a few minutes, I'm going to rub some of it away. So this Q-tip is just about done. We're going to try a little bit more on this side and see if we can get a little more of this dirt off there and take another look. So we have finished the first side, and I want to point out that it has done a pretty good job of removing a lot of that grime that was on it. But I wanted to show you the difference. Quite the difference. Now we're going to work on the reverse, which as you can see up close, it's pretty toasty as far as the grime's concerned. Let's go ahead and apply some on the back and just let it sit on it for a little bit and see how well it comes out. Man, a lot of grime on that. We'll let that sit for a few minutes. Very dirty coin. Now we'll proceed with the first wipe away. I've only let it sit on there for about 15 seconds. But since we're using the dirty side of the Q-tip, I do want to get some of this off there with this side, and then we'll switch to the clean side next. All right, it's starting to come along pretty nicely. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. Not that bad a detail. Let's go ahead and try the clean side and apply another coat and let it sit. So we'll let that sit for a few minutes and we'll see how it comes out. All right, we have got the quarter ran under some warm water, and you know what? Definitely has much better eye appeal than it had before. Obviously, it's got a nice ding there. It does have some pretty good wear. It's probably maybe a very fine 20 in this condition, if I'm lucky. Fine 15. But from what it looked like prior to the cleaning, I think it came out a lot better. It might even upgraded my book, believe it or not. And I did work on the edge off camera. I forgot when I was running it under hot water that I hadn't done the edge. So I did use another Q-tip to do the edge, and came out pretty good. I'm happy overall. Could it be better? Yeah. Could I spend more time on it? Probably. But does it look better? In my opinion, it does. So now that we've got those two completed, let me go ahead and now move on to what I think is got pretty good detail, just has a lot of discoloration, and we'll see how this 1953S comes out. So I'm going to use the dirty side of the Q-tip first to just apply that first coat once again. And I'm going to be a little more ginger on this one. I'm pretty much just touching the surface with the Q-tip to see if we can get any detail without doing any scratching or any damage to this guy. We're just going to let that MS70 cleaner sit on that side for a little bit so that you can see, but definitely it's pulling off a lot of that gunk to begin with. I don't know if there's going to be a discolored coin when we're done with this because it does have some kind of dark tarish look to it, and I don't think it's going to be able to pull a lot of that away. But if we can see the detail from the strike, then I'll take that as well. So it's been about 30 to 45 seconds, and now we're going to use this Q-tip and just lightly go around the edges here outside of Washington's bust to begin with to see how much cleaning it does without any rubbing, really. Just moving around the edges. And it's done pretty good. We're going to flip this over now, dip it back in the MS70 cleaner, and spend a little more time on his bust now. We'll start with the neck. Definitely got cleaner. And I don't know if it's going to be able to take some of this deep darkening away. But it does look like it is lightening how dark it is for sure. It's definitely lightening it. And it's definitely coming out a lot better, as you can see. I'm going to work on it for a few more minutes. I'll bring you back and then we'll do the reverse. All right, that's the final product on the obverse. Definitely came out a lot better, and honestly, I can see quite a bit of detail on this coin. Still a little bit wet. I didn't pat it dry. I got so excited to bring it back to show you guys, but definitely a lot better. Now let's see what we can do on the reverse of this coin next. This side was not as bad as the obverse, of course, but definitely had a lot of yellowing. And definitely cleaned up pretty nicely. And just so I'm not using a dirty end, I will add a little more cleaner. One more time, passing over it. You can see we're still picking up some stuff. And then I'll rinse it off and bring you guys back in to see how it came out. So as expected, the reverse came out really nice on this coin. Still a hint of toning, which I like. And the obverse came out pretty nice too. Obviously, we couldn't remove some of that darkening, if you will. But the detail is definitely popping now, as I thought it would, because I could see good detail under my loupe when I was looking at it through the grime. Pretty nice. So as you can see now, with these three coins, you can tell that they have been at least cleaned, and anyone who knows their coins would look at this coin and know that this is not original luster, but it could have been cleaned even prior. Either way, I'm pretty happy at least now with the eye appeal of these coins, and definitely came out a lot nicer. Now that we've done those, move on to the Kennedy halves, and we'll see how we can get some of these to turn out, and then you guys can make your judgment on how you think this product works. So for the Kennedy half dollars that are 90% silver, I chose these beauties right here. A lot worse on the obverse, as you can tell. I've got that striped one to see how much of that striping we could remove, and the one that's in really nice shape other than that crazy toning on the rim. All right there, and on the edge of the obverse and reverse. So to save time, I'm not going to talk through this. I'm going to time lapse it and just apply it liberally on the front. We'll wait a few minutes, we'll wipe it away, and see how the fronts came out. So now that we've got it applied to the front, let me wait about 2 minutes on this. We'll bring it back in for the wipe down. All right, we'll start with the best of the bunch, if you will, and see how much of this discoloration, grime, if you will, we can remove from this coin. Pretty heavily coated, and it did take off where it was lightest really quickly. But now we've got to work on this edge, and I might leave it on a little bit longer on that edge, although it's taken quite a bit off. How about this tape mark or this tape toning mark? I don't know. Pretty tough when it's that strong of striping. It does look like it is lightening. So I'm going to leave that on as well. And now we'll continue with the dirty end and see if we can even make any progress on these other ones. That's quite a bit of fluid, so I'm going to flip over the Q-tip. It's going to soak up some of the cleaner right away, like it did. So I will add some more and spill some apparently. Much better. but still needs a lot of work. We'll try this one next. They're definitely lightening, but this is a lot of grime on here. I don't even know what happened to these ones. We're gonna let them sit for a few more minutes and we'll be back with another cleaning. All right, here we go, round two. Let's see if we can get some more of this gunk off the corner of this Kennedy half dollar right here. Looks like it's taking off a little bit, but I don't know if we can actually get deep in there and get the rest of that out. Either way, this Kennedy half did come out much, much nicer, as you can see, but it's pretty heavily compacted in that area. I'm sure I could even take the Q-tip here and work on the edge and get the edge to lighten up quite a bit too. You can see how much is being removed on this Q-tip as we're doing it. But I would need to spend quite a bit of time to clean that up. Although it does take off a lot of this on the back, no problem. Even with the dirty Q-tip. Now let's zoom out, add a little cleaner to it, and test this tape striped one. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be able to get into that tape much better than it already has. It is definitely lighter, but it's definitely permanently stained unless I were to dip it in acetone and really dip the coin, which we don't want to do. We wanted to just test the MS70 cleaner as it is. How about these ones? Any further removal? Yeah. It's just constantly taking layer after layer off. And I don't really know how many times you want to coat these. I mean, obviously, if it was a mint state coin, you would not want to do it more than once, and you would really just want to roll, like I said, your Q-tip across it so that you don't risk scratching it. But for sake of this video, I took coins that are not coins that I'm too concerned with, just to get an idea how effective the cleaner can and cannot be on certain different types of toning, grime, you name it. It definitely got this coin a lot better than it was. You can actually see through some of the grime now. Still, a lot more work would need to be done to make it perfect. Let's test out this very last one with a little bit more cleaner and see if we can remove more away. Yeah, it's crazy how every time you apply it, you get a whole bunch more of the grime off. And again, at this point, I think these are going to be permanently scarred, if you will. They'll always have some discoloration, but at least we're able to remove some of the grime and see more of the detail, more of the coin, and at least make its appearance a little more pleasing. And there you go. Let me go ahead and do one more thing for this video. I'm going to put another coat on, give these a little bit more of a soak, and see if they come out even better, and if we can continue to remove grime layer after grime layer. So we actually applied it 2 more times to see how well we could get these to come out. Here's that one that had the edge that was pretty bad. We cannot get more than that out, and that's the best we're going to get of it. Looks pretty good overall. Obviously, it's got the regular circulation dings, but obviously, if I soaked that even longer, because I continued, even on the last 2 coats, continued to lighten up some of the damage. Look at the striped one. A lot of that striping has gone away. And then the 2 blackened ones, yeah, I don't know if they look better because of all the discoloration, but you definitely can see Kennedy a lot better now than having that thick, grimy coat above them. Either way, that's about as good as they're going to come out for this video. I probably could soak them and spend even more time, but I wanted to make a realistic video of what they would come out with a few applications. We definitely improved the overall appearance of these ugly coins. These ones, I do see good improvement. And of course, you have to say that you saw improvements on these 2 quarters as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this video about me using some MS70 cleaner. Again, I'll let you be the determining factor on whether you think they improved their appearance or didn't really do enough to even warrant usage on it. Keep in mind, MS70 is a product you're supposed to use for high mint state coins that have some discoloration or fingerprints or things like that on them that you just want to enhance the overall luster and appearance without scrubbing, without rubbing like I did on these. But this is a good basis for me to get an idea of what it does on coins that are silver or that are caked with a lot of grease and oils and dirt and grime and you name it. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting and thanks for watching.